Alright, let's try and call her again.
This is Tamara.
Tamara, hey, alright, this is Nathan Miller.
Yes.
Alright, so I was calling about a ruling. I guess you got, it got passed off to you, it sounds like.
That is possible, yes.
Right. Let's see here. I gotta find it. I just had it here.
Not that one. I have a couple on my desk that people have called about. So I'm sure to see if I have it.
Yep. Let me see here. Should be. I gotta. Let's see here. It was sent on June 21st. Disclosure Act, Governmental Code, ID assigned 496459.
Okay. Let me get the OR number then. 4964.
59.
Okay. So it is 10547. I need different numbers for different parts of my computer.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
It's fun like that.
Yeah, it sounds like I can get a little confusing.
I just want to keep you on my toes, make
Right.
sure I know where everything is at.
Right. I understand. So, basically what's happened here, I don't know how up to date you are on this case or not, but what ended up happening is an officer in the city of San Antonio gave me a ticket. He had the wrong name on the ticket. I went to this. I worked with the city. I had filed a complaint against the officer, and then also I had requested open records request within the 10 days, or actually I think it was about 7 days after the ticket. I made a request. It was on the 14th of May, and the scheduled date was 28th of May, I believe, for my court date. I didn't get a response, an official response, really, for 11 days, even though they say it's supposed to come in 10 days. Let's see here. So and when I did get a response, they said they needed it in writing, so I made one in writing and sent it. And then they sent you guys, let's see here. Charles H. Weir sent you guys that request to block my request for public information. All I want is the mobile data terminal and the dash cam video is what I'm after, because I'm having to defend myself in this case, and as a defense, discovery law is what I'm trying to, the discovery provision. So
You're correct. I mean, I'm looking at the ruling now. In fact, that yes, they requested the ruling late.
right.
Because I'm looking at all the dates.
Yes.
However, because the city is considered separate, or yes, you sent the request to the police department.
I sent it to a lot of people. Hold on.
Okay.
I sent it to let's see here.
Well,
I sent the first request was to the city. The second one here was to the San Antonio Police Department. McManus, the city attorney's office got it, and the office of the attorney general also received a carbon copy of it as well.
Right, but it looks like this ruling was issued to the city.
Okay.
And then because the prosecutor's office is a separate government agency,
Yep.
we have ruled this way a lot, that because they're separate, the fact that the other governmental agency messed up and sent it late doesn't waive a second governmental body's interest. So that's why we still ruled that they could withhold it under 108.
Okay.
Even though it is a discretionary exception, it's because there's a governmental body that didn't do anything wrong, that their interests were at issue.
But okay, can I ask, what about this? The fact that the city attorney's office has constructive knowledge of my case. They have constructive knowledge of what the officers are supposed to be doing. They're the ones that defend them all the time. You know, they're going to be defending the city of San Antonio in this case. And therefore, they should know what's going on. How are they exempt?
No, I understand that they should know what's going on. I understand what you're kind of saying about that, but it doesn't change the law and the way we have to rule. That there's one governmental body that received it and a second that has an interest, and they're not the ones that were late.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, this is definitely not the first time we've ruled this way. We do it a lot of times if it's a police department and then a different prosecutor.
So then,
or we have different cities.
Okay, so then basically what you're telling me is that the police can procrastinate and push it off, and throw me under the bus and under the rug and try and get me off to the side and trying to just convince me to pay. And in the meantime, the city's attorney's office doesn't have to keep them in check at all. And then you rule in favor of the city attorney's office because they can say, oh, we didn't know, and they can claim ignorance to it. Because
in this case, they're separate governmental bodies, yes. I mean, I can't prove, and we're not a court of law.
Right,
so
yep.
We can't find facts as to what they actually knew. What we know in this case is that they were late, we did point that out, and then there's a second governmental body that raised an interest in it.
And if I have proof that that the first complaint was sent to them and that it was received by the city attorney's office on the 17th of May, I have proof that I have it on a phone conversation, I have the recorded, I've got the copies of the complaint and everything else that was sent.
Kind of two potential situations you're talking about. One is just that the city prosecutor's office kind of knew about this other request, in which case that wouldn't matter because it's still not their responsibility to request a ruling for the city and the police department.
No, I'm not saying that they need a ruling, but I'm just saying getting me my information.
Let me finish.
Okay.
But if there was a second request to them specifically, then what we're talking about is them not complying with their own request. In which case, in that situation, then if they still haven't responded, we could handle that as a complaint.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's kind of two different situations. One is just them knowing about this request to the city, in which case that wouldn't, affect anything because it's not their request. And the other is, because I know at the beginning of the phone call you said you made requests to several different people. And so if they have their own request that they have not complied with, because this ruling was to the city, not the prosecutor's office,
right?
That's something, if you wanted to send it in as a complaint, that we definitely could look at.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, so, goodness gracious. I did send a complaint. I know this doesn't necessarily, kind of involves you guys, but one of the city attorneys was involved in this Charles Weir. He's been pushing me off and holding me back too, and trying to get me to other people. And I filed a complaint to the Judicial Commission as well on this judge in his office that had been just rubber stamping all this crap, and nobody cares that I have yet to get the information, even though I've made the 3 different requests, and even though every single office has been informed. I mean, I've got phone calls of me asking, and then also the written records. I've got 3 different written requests for it, and every time, and all I get is, here's the way to pay. Here's another way to pay. If you can't pay that way, we can pay this way. Or, they push me off or give me a phone number that just goes right to a stinking answering machine every single time. There's no justice button. It's all games. In fact, I don't know what they're charging. They are allowed to charge for records under the Act. Okay.
But our cost rules are, if you're making requests under the Act, and that, what they're charging you for is under the Act, our cost rules are pretty specific in the fact that it's 10 cents a page, kind of up to 12.5 cents. They have kind of 25% leeway either way, but 10 cents a page And then only if it's over 50 pages can they also charge labor at $15 an hour.
I see.
So, I don't know what they're trying to charge. I'm like,
they're not trying to charge me anything.
But there are very specific cost rules.
No, they're not charging me anything. They're not even giving me the information at all.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I understand now. I kind of misunderstood that.
Yeah. No, they're refusing to. Okay. My response to the first complaint against the officer was some sergeant that tells me, hey, the incorrect name on the ticket isn't our fault. The e-citation device, when you scan your out-of-state license, it self-populated the name incorrectly. So it must have been an error with the Minnesota DMV's barcode on the driver's license. So basically, he's trying to say that the state of Minnesota is the one to blame. Well, I have video evidence, and I know the dash cam video will show the video evidence that the state of Minnesota and the Minnesota State's DMV was not standing there writing the ticket for Officer Torres. Officer Torres put it in incorrectly. I've got mail sent to my house for somebody that does not live here. Legal documents that are, a federal offense if I open them. So I go through all the work of asking for making my my open records request. I filed the complaint against the officer, records requested, and then I also talk and